Okay, can I see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay. So we studied the fourth point was standardize. So next 5 year system is sustain. So what is sustain? So after standardizing comes sustain, and it is nothing but which literally means discipline. Okay. So why did you standardize the operation? We standardized it so as if everyone follows it, then we will eliminate some of the wastes that we mentioned earlier, and that is the purpose of standardizing the um, 5S situation. So after that, we have to sustain it. Sustain means you have to keep on doing it, right? So when you are implementing the lean manufacturing technique, you have to sustain the 5S procedure as such. So that is literally that means discipline. Okay. So we have to follow the decisions that you have made earlier. So first one was sorting, then comes a setup in order, then comes cleaning, then comes standardizing. So these four procedures have to be always kept uh, kept in the procedures we are being done. So standardizing always changes, right? So once you have standardized the procedure, it is being used, and due to the emergence of new technology, etc., we are again keeping another standard. Okay, previous standard is then again modified. Hence, in 5S system, always standardization changes after a certain period of time. So always a period of time is always mentioned, and the standardized procedure will be kept for that particular period. But we have to sustain the set standardized principle. So that is why sustain comes under a 5S system. So some of the elements that are implemented for sustaining 5S programs are: one is management support. So by means of management support, we are keeping 5S system. So if management does not uh, enforce people to do the 5S system, the people obviously will not follow that particular procedure. Hence, first management has to affix that particular 5S system, or sort, clean, etc., has to be set up by the management itself. So that is coming under management support. So you can see here, without full commitment from managers, the 5H process won't stick around. So they have to be committed to make the procedure being sticked around. Then supervisors and managers should be involved in auditing the 5S work processes and getting feedback from the workers. So this 5S system, once implemented, we have to look if it is being followed. So we will be checking that, and after that we are taking a feedback from the workers. Okay, we are taking it from employees, etc., and we will be getting a feedback, and based on that we will determine whether we have to follow another standard procedure. Okay. um, then they also need to provide the tools, training, and time for workers to get their jobs done right. So that is coming under standardized procedure. So we are looking at the time required for maybe cleaning, sorting, setting it up on order, training, the providing the tools necessary, etc. All comes under management support of sustaining 5S program. Okay, that is first one. Next is department tools. So what is coming under department tools? So we'll look at that. Bringing teams from one department to visit other departments will help familiarize the entire workforce with the processes of your facility. This type of cross pollination helps to spread good ideas and inspire people to come up with new ways to improve the 5S implementation. So, I already told you the 5S system was implemented for a particular workstation, right? So, once it is implemented in one department, another type of 5S. Okay, uh, we have two divisions. A workstation wherein which tools such as spanners, screwdrivers, hammers, etc. are being used. In another department, where maybe a research department, we are using computers, data, design, charts, etc. Okay, in both that conditions we can implement 5S system. Okay, sorting out first comes sorting out, right? In sorting out, in the workstation we are sorting out the tools that is required, tools that is not required. In the case of research R&D section, we are uh, sorting out the files that we require, or the charts that we require, or the working computers that we require, right? So this is how it is different. Okay, the same system is being implemented, but according to the department it varies. So department tools happens when one department personnel comes into the other department, or a group of personnel itself visits the other sister department or the other department itself, and once they visit, they will see the similar 5S system being followed, and any improvements they have done under their department will be suggested for the next department they are visiting. So based on that suggestion, we can again design another standardized procedure for improving the processes that is done under 5S system in that particular workstation. So that is how it helps. So one example, if I tell you, if the R&D section people visit the workstation bench at where a worker is doing tools, right? So uh, we have something known as an inventory list. Okay, inventory list is nothing but the list in which what all things that is present inside the workstation is filled in a data, or in a, kept in a file, right? So as an improvement, the R&D section tells the workstation or the workstation personnel to keep the record. So this record is always kept, right? So if you are keeping it in a file, naturally a workstation of a worker always will be dirty, right? So if you are keeping a file there, it will obviously collect dust and become dirty. So one of the way to improve that is providing a system, and after that incorporating the data into this system. It will be kept eternally, right? So for that purpose, that is another improvement that is done under 5S system. So that is one of the ways how department tools improve the system. Okay, so that is another way for sustaining 5S program. Next comes updated training. So what is coming under updated training? As time passes, there may be changes in your workplace, such as new equipment, new products, or new work rules. When this happens, revise your 5S work standards to accommodate those changes and provide training on the new standards. So it is updation, right? Updation is being done. So I have told you earlier, due to the change in technology, we have to always come up with new ways or new standard ways to do procedures. So that is coming under updated training. So it is basically implementing these changes, maybe the new workstation, new tools, new equipments, new machines. These are incorporated into standardizing. We are standardizing them also into the 5S system, so as we can sustain that 5S system program, or else we can't sustain it. We have to keep on using the old tools, but new tools provide a much more efficient operation when compared with the old. That is why it is being updated, and once updated into the 5S system, then it is being standardized, and after standardized it is then sustained. Okay, that is coming under updated training. Then comes progress audits. So various audits are done. So we look what all done. The standards that are created in the 5S program should provide specific and measurable goals. So we are doing this for nothing, but we have to produce certain products, maybe 100 products per day. From each workstation, we have to get about 20 products. So these are all goals that is being set. Okay, and these goals ensure these goals ensure that the product has to be completed, the amount of product that has to be completed per day, and according to that only the standards are being created. And based on these production, during a period of time is taken, maybe a week, a day, or a month, or years. Okay, it depends, and depending on that we are conducting audits. So we are checking if these goals are being attained per day or per week or per month, etc. Okay, that is what is known as progress audits. And after checking on these goals with a periodic audit can provide important information and guidance. So what are the questions here is that where is 5S working well? Where are teams falling behind? So these are important questions, right? Is it working well? And where are the teams falling behind? So we have in lean manufacturing technique, we have to reduce the time waste that is being encountered. And providing audits or looking at the performance and evaluating the work being done, we can find out the time, the extra time, or anything that we have to reduce. So that is only done by progress audits. And only when doing progress audits we can sustain the 5S program, because we are looking whether the 5S working whether the 5S is working well in the workers environment. So that is the importance of progress audits. And last comes performance evaluation. So after the progress audits comes performance evaluation. And once you know your goals are reasonable, make performance part of each employee evaluation. So we are evaluating each employee. When teams and individuals perform well, celebrate it and post overall result. So we are celebrating it and post overall result maybe at the end of a month. Employee of the month and all, you have heard of the terms, right? So why it is being done is but to improve the morale of the worker so that he will do that certain work. And this is done on basis of the performance evaluation. Okay, so these are the ways in which 5S program is sustained in the industry. So what are the benefits of using 5S system? So basically there are 5 types of benefits. First one is better time usage. So how is time better usaged? Sorry, betterly used. Then getting rid of unwanted materials and organizing the important tools and supplies will eliminate clutter and confusion. So first one was sort. We already learned about sort, and under sort we know that we are sorting it out to avoid any waste, dirt and clutter, right? So to avoid the confusion, we are first getting rid of the unwanted materials. So if you are removing that unwanted materials, workers spend less time finding and retrieving what they need and can be productive instead. So if you are sorting it, there will be less time required by the worker to take that particular tool, do the operation, and then replace that tool in the workstation. So thereby the time is reduced uh, in the earlier manner, wherein the tools are just scattered all over the floor or all over the workbench. So that is how time is used better. Next, less wasted space. So we are already looking at and clearing out unwanted materials here, right? So once we eliminate unnecessary material stockpiles and consolidate storage, will clear up room for more useful application. So that is the importance of clearing the waste. Once the waste is cleared, you will get more sufficient area for maybe mounting the mounting the product and operating on it, or mounting the tool stand, etc. So there will be more space. So you are using the space for some purpose. So wasted space will be less. We don't have any, we'll be having less space for wasted space. Every thing is being designed and used. Okay, uh, every design of the floor is being used as even some type of storage or some type of workstation, hence reducing less hence reducing wasted space. Next, reduced injury rates. So normally it is not being said, but in some cases the 5S system also has another S, or it is called a 6S, because it involves another component, that is safety. Okay, safety is also implemented in the 5S system. It comes as an extra part. Okay, so if you are already doing the 5S system, it will as a safe environment. So hence safety is not being mentioned in the 5S system, but safety is also another sixth stage of the 5S system, wherein safety comes while under the influence of all the 5 stages that we mentioned earlier. So due to safety, there will be reduced injury rate. So first one is, if you are sorting the things out, any scrap materials or etc., if was present underneath or on the work floor, then it may naturally cause injury, right? Maybe if it's a nail, it will penetrate the slippers or the shoe that we are working with, and it will cause serious injuries. So if you're cleaning it out or you're sorting it out, you will not encounter such accidents. So therein, we are reducing the injury rates that is happening in that particular workstation. Then next is reduced equipment downtime. So when tools and equipments are kept clean, routinely inspected, so we had preventive maintenance and clean, which is the third point, and used in a standardized way. So standardizing was the fourth stage of 5S program. Preventive maintenance is much easier, and major failures can often be prevented entirely. So what is equipment downtime? It is nothing but the time in which the equipment is kept at a still position. So such positions only happen when you are stopping the work, or if the equipment has some sort of fault. Okay, so for that purpose, we are doing a preventive maintenance on the machine, so as it does not shut down during operations. Okay, so that is what is coming under reduced equipment downtime. Then last one, improved consistency and quality. So once you are doing the or implementing the 5S system, there will be consistency and quality, not in the sense of product quality, but it is the performance attitude of the worker. So it will be a consistent form of working without any errors. Okay, the errors will be eliminated, and if errors are eliminated, naturally a waste that occurs is defects, right? Defects will be eliminated. So for that purpose, there will be a consistent working environment and also a quality environment. Quality in the sense, the quality product are produced by the quality of the worker. So everything is in order, everything is kept clean, and the working is done in a clean environment. So if it is done like that, obviously the product produced will be of sufficient quality. So that is what is known as the quality of work. So it is actually improving the quality of work and the consistency. So these are the benefits of implementing 5S stages in lean manufacturing. So one of the basic important questions that will be asked in the exam is the difference between conventional manufacturing or traditional manufacturing versus lean manufacturing. So this is an important question. So we'll look at what is the basic difference. First one is production driven under a traditional manufacturing, production driven by a sales forecast. So it is a push system. We already know what is a push system. So it is a forecast based on the we are predicting the customer demand. It may come to this one and we are doing the production under that forecast. That is traditional manufacturing system. While in lean manufacturing system, production is driven by customer demand, hence it is a pull system. So the production is done on the basis of customer demand itself. So it is not a forecast but based on accurate results. Okay, so it is a pull system. Then next, traditional manufacturing problems are viewed just as problems, but in lean manufacturing the problems are viewed as opportunities for improvement, often through root cause analysis. So we already studied about root cause analysis under Jidoka or automation technique. So under that, if there was any defects found in the product, that product is particularly removed from that operation and then only the production starts. The production continues. So based on that purpose, we can find out the root cause for that particular defect. So that is known as or termed as root cause analysis. And we are so if you are analyzing such a root cause, uh, then it is an improvement, right? We are improving the system to never produce a defect in such a manner, and hence under lean manufacturing the problems are viewed as an improvement. But in traditional manufacturing, problems are every time classified as problems. So if a defective product comes, it is said that it is defective and the machine has to be replaced. So you have to incur more cost there. So that is the traditional manufacturing system. Next, under a traditional manufacturing system, work in process is viewed as a normal part of operation. Okay, work in process was nothing but unfinished product. So a product that has been started to be done some operations but has to be stopped for some reason and then stored in inventory. So in traditional manufacturing, it is always viewed as a normal process. So there will be many number of unfinished products. But in the case of lean manufacturing, it is looked upon as a waste. So we have to somehow eliminate that waste. Okay, we know why WIP was occurring in in traditional manufacturing because of overproduction, right? So that is the reason for WIP in inventory. So in lean manufacturing, we are reducing WIP by eliminating overproduction by means of the demand from the customer. Okay, that is a lean manufacturing. Next one, traditional manufacturing also improves system discarding all of the types of waste in the process. So it may improve the system. Traditional manufacturing improve the systems by updation of technology, etc. But still, it will never take the waste into consideration. The wastes that we mentioned earlier are never considered, and it is always considered as a part of the manufacturing system. While in the case of lean manufacturing system, it improves the system by eliminating waste and then improving the current processes. So both are being carried out. We are improving or updating the technology and also eliminating the waste. Next, traditional manufacturing, the management is the primary driver of change. So the management decides what operations has to be carried out or how many products has to be produced or what all products has to be supplied to the market. These all decisions is made by the management, the core power above the worker, supervisor, the managers, etc. Okay, so the management only takes the change. But in the case of lean manufacturing, everyone is empowered, trained in principles of lean, and encouraged to look for ways to improve the processes. So, for lean manufacturing to be done, we have to eliminate the waste, and an individual person can never find out all the waste that is occurring in an industry. So, each and every department, a representative is selected, and these representatives will find out uh, the wastes that are occurring in throughout the industry at each and every department, each and every process, each and every operations, and these wastes are then eliminated, and we are looking at looking for ways to improve various processes. These all comes under lean manufacturing. Next, under traditional manufacturing, it focuses on training and relies on people to not make mistakes. So they focuses on training. We are training the individual for not making mistakes and making them skilled, etc. But we are not. In the case of lean manufacturing, focuses on building processes that are error proofed. Okay, in traditional manufacturing, mistakes may happen and defects will be formed, but it is still not considered as a waste. That defective product is removed, but it's still not considered as a waste. But in lean manufacturing, always an error-proofed method is being implemented, or else it is not in lean manufacturing. We have to always reduce that mistake proofing. We have learned about an LM tool called mistake proofing, and under mistake proofing, it is always error proof, right? There will be no errors and no defects found, and that is always the focus in lean manufacturing. Then, in traditional manufacturing, systems thinking views the organization as the whole, often ignoring or unable to see enormous opportunities for improvement. So systems thinking in such a the management makes the thinking decisions, right? So it takes the organization as a whole. The management is taking the decision, and they uh, they think about the improvements to be done under a management point of view. So that is coming under traditional manufacturing. While in the case of lean manufacturing, it views the organization as a series of interrelated processes that can and should be improved. That can and should be improved. You have to, it is not on the basis of management view, but various people are present, and it views organization as a series of interrelated processes. So many processes are there. Each and every process is examined by many individuals that is present in the organization, and they find out ways how to improve the process or how to eliminate the waste, etc. Okay, so these are the basic differences of traditional manufacturing and lean manufacturing. Next one is agile manufacturing. Okay, so what is agile manufacturing and why do we need agile manufacturing? Agile manufacturing is a term applied to an organization that has created the processes, tools, and training to enable it to respond quickly to customer needs and market changes while still controlling costs and quality. It is most related to lean manufacturing. So, agile manufacturing, the term agile itself means fast. Okay, you must say fast and flexible. That is what is known as agile. Agile manufacturing is just an evolution of lean manufacturing. So it implements the same functions of lean manufacturing, wherein lean manufacturing focuses on reducing the waste or eliminating the waste. And agile manufacturing also takes that into consideration, while they also concentrate on the faster production or flexible production. So what is flexible production? Flexible production is nothing but there are many changes occurring in the same terms of technological aspects or in the terms of customer demand, etc. So they have to quickly respond. Okay, maybe in cars. Okay, cars, conventional cars were being used before in the case of ambassadors, etc. And once a design to reduce or an aerodynamic shape was implemented in a car, immediately the company changes its vehicle to sufficient design so as to continue obtaining the profits or obtaining the demand. So customer will be always attracted to each and every gimmicks that is coming, or each and every technological changes that are coming into the market. And if it is not implemented in your product as fast as possible, then you will lose the customer demand. That is the main objective of agile manufacturing. So you must not lose the customer demand. And how can you ensure that? We can ensure that by only implementing that technology or that particular improvement as fast as you can do it, and then sending and obtaining that demand and sending that product to the customer. So that is what is coming under agile manufacturing. So it is an approach to manufacturing with focus on meeting the needs of customer while maintaining the high standards of quality. So here it comes. So you have to keep the quality in mind and the needs of customer. Then we will control the cost involved in the production of a particular product. So normally, agile manufacturing is a costlier process because an implementation of a new technology in a vehicle or in a product always raises its cost. Okay, we always know that older the vehicle, the less will be the price, right? Newer vehicles always has higher price when compared with older ones. And naturally, when another technology comes, this new one that is being produced becomes old. Okay, so this is how the day-to-day process or the day-to-day changes affects the product life. And obviously the cost incurred will be high for the new product, but they are not viewing the cost incurred there. They are viewing to keep the demand alive and how to run the industry stably with that demand. So they have to survive in that market competition, and for that purpose they are designing the system, uh, designing the system to meet that demand by implementing the new technology change, and that is why it is termed as agile manufacturing. This approach is geared toward companies working in highly competitive environment. So if you are not implementing the technology at first itself, the other company or your competitive company will implement it and they will snatch away the demand that you already have. That is the problem. So if you uh, don't implement that technology as soon as possible, then we will lose the demand that we are getting. So that is why agile manufacturing is essential, where small variations in performance and product delivery can make a huge difference. If you are in a competitive environment, if there is a small variations in performance, so if there is variation in performance, naturally the quality of the product will be less, will vary. If it is of lower performance, low quality; higher performance, high quality. And product delivery can make a huge difference. So if the product delivery takes much time, then the customers will not be satisfied and the demand decreases. While if it is done in a faster manner, then obviously keep its demand alive, because the company's survival and reputation is resting among consumers. So their reputation and survival is on based on the demand. So picking up that demand at the first and earliest as possible is the main objective of agile manufacturing. So I will conclude the class today, and we'll look the next part in the next session. Thank Next, I'll take the attendance.